Okay, allow me 1 second.
Okay, I will stop it. Budu Saranai, our Venerable Theros, Venerable Vajirarame Jnanasiha Thero, Venerable Basnagoda Rahula Thero, other Venerable Theros, our committee members, invitees, and our Dhamma friends, both local and foreign. Let me welcome you from the International Dhamma Program, where we are conducting the Medin Full Moon Poya Day Dhamma Program. This is the second Dhamma program we are conducting for the day. We had one at 3 p.m. For the afternoon, and now it's an evening session where we are starting at 6 p.m. So today the evening Dhamma talk will be on the topic rational analysis and argumentation in early Buddhism, which will be conducted by Venerable Professor Basnagoda Rahula Thero. Venerable Thero is the president of the Houston Buddhist Vihara, USA, and his early ordination was during his childhood that became a novice monk at the Attanagala Royal Temple or the Rajamaha Vihara. Then, of course, after receiving the higher ordination, Bhante continued the higher studies, obtaining the bachelor's degree in Buddhist philosophy from the Kelaniya University. Thereafter, a MA in literature from the University of Houston Clear Lake, and a PhD in English from Texas Tech University in Lubbock. He's also a professor in English, a public speaker, Dhamma and meditation teacher. Also, Venerable Thero has authored a few books. One is the author of Beautiful Living, Buddha's Way to Prosperity, Wisdom and Inner Peace, and the Buddha's teaching on prosperity at home, at work, in the world. The foreword for this book was written by the late Sir Arthur Clarke. This book has been translated into 5 languages. I respectfully invite Venerable Basnagoda Rahula Thero to deliver Pansil and then commence the Dhamma sermon on the topic of rational analysis and argumentation in early Buddhism. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Thank you for your invitation. Please recite the Namaskara to observe the 5 minutes.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa.
Buddhang saranang gacchami.
Buddhang saranang gacchami.
Dhammang saranang gacchami.
Dhammang saranang gacchami.
Sanghang saranang gacchami.
Sanghang saranang gacchami.
Yampi buddhang saranang gacchami.
Yampi buddhang saranang gacchami.
Yampi dhammang saranang gacchami.
Yampi dhammang saranang gacchami.
Yampi sanghang saranang gacchami.
Yampi sanghang saranang gacchami.
Yampi buddhang saranang gacchami.
Yampi buddhang saranang gacchami.
Yampi dhammang saranang gacchami.
Yampi dhammang saranang gacchami.
Yampi sanghang saranang gacchami.
Sangham saranam gacchami.
Madhyami.
Panatipata viramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Adinadana viramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Dinadana viramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Amesu miccācara viramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Kamesu miccācara viramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Savada viramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Savada viramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Ramire majjapamadattana viramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Ramere madhyamadattana viramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Samanta cakkavalesu atra gaccantu devata Dhammang munirajassa sunantu sagga mokkadang Dhamma savana kalu vayang padhanta Dhamma savana kalu vayang padhanta Dhamma savana kalu vayang padhanta
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa Yada tumhe atana vajnaniyat ime dhamma kusala ime dhamma navajja ime dhamma vinyupasatta ime dhamma samanta samadhinna hitaya sukaya samvattati ti atatumme upasampajja vihereyat. Dear Dhamma friends, it's a pleasure to meet you again. So, forgive me for having, I'm taking a medication right now. So just started yesterday so that I have a kind of a sore throat, but I believe I can speak in such a way that you can understand. So that's the nature, right? Nature of the world and nature of the universe. So having said that, it's again my pleasure to join. And uh, as you are already aware, the topic of my Dhammadesana is the Buddhist uh, rational argumentation and analysis in early Buddhist texts. So this topic is appealing to the modern audience, not only among Buddhists, but also among all kinds of people, irrespective of what religious beliefs they maintain. So, as we say, the Buddha's teaching can be viewed as a religion in the way it has been practiced by people, and as a philosophy, as a way of life, as rhetoric, as a path to enlightenment, spiritual progress, or we can interpret and look at the Buddha's teaching from different viewpoints. So I am today, so it's on the one hand, it's a science, it's psychology, it's philosophy, it's rhetoric. It is a system, it's kind of a system for living. So as I said, we can view the Buddha's teaching and interpret the Buddha's teaching based on the original Buddhist scriptures. That the Buddha's teaching is broad kind of a teaching that is applicable, useful, and beneficial to the public in numerous ways. So today I am pointing out that the rhetorical aspects of the Buddha's teaching, not only philosophy, the rhetoric, Buddhist rhetoric, the rhetorical aspects of the teaching, the rational argumentation and analysis in early Buddhism. So we have the question that somebody would ask, did the Buddha argue? Is a vital question. Did the Buddha argue? Okay. Now, the word argumentation in Sri Lankan language, Sinhala for tarka kirim or wada kirim, it's not a wholesome word in the Buddha, in modern interpretation, at least from a Sri Lankan viewpoint. So, but argumentation is a very key point. So, without rational argumentation, we don't progress. We get stuck at one particular place. We don't go ahead. And also our brains don't evolve if we do not argue rationally. Rational, the word rational comes from reason, reasoning skills, reason and rational. Rational argumentation means a person's ability to use reasoning skills in the proper way, proper reasoning skills. That's what you call rational argumentation. Now the question is, did the Buddha argue? Of course, yes. Not to win members, not to build up power. But the Buddha's very first teaching, first advice to the group of Mahasangha, when he dispatched them for service, Bahuchana Hitai, Bahuchana Sukhai, Lokanukampaya. That is the purpose. These 3 points. Bahuchana Hitai, for the benefit of many. Bahuchana Sukhai, for the happiness of many. And more than anything else, Lokanukampaya, with loving kindness and compassion for all. Loka. Loka does not mean one group of people. Okay, so everybody, including human beings and animals and any other living beings, invisible. So, point here is that, so that is the purpose. For that purpose, Buddha always used rational argumentation. What is the opposite of this rational argumentation? In the same sutra, Kalama Sutra, Buddha has pointed out, අනිසවේන පරම්පරාය ඉතිකිරා පිටල සපදානයන තක්ක හේතු ණය හේතු ආකාර පරිතක්කන දික්ටි නිචානක්කත්‍ය මා පබ්බරූපතාය මා සමන පබ්බරූපතාය සමනෝ නොගරෝති. This is where irrational argumentation comes. So, the Buddha used rational argumentation to convince people. Buddha argued. Buddha argued rationally. You know, when you come to argumentation, we should not depend on religion. We should not depend on religion. We should not depend on social beliefs and social practices. Such narrow criteria we should not depend on. We must depend on reasoning skills. So that is what Buddha did. In other words, the Buddha created a kind of inner kind of a freedom for people to agree or disagree. You know, for how long? For 45 years. Since the Buddha attained enlightenment, from that point to his passing away, So how long? That has been how many years? 45 years. Throughout these 45 years, Buddha launched and continued his mission through rational argumentation. In other words, he used his reasoning skills to convince people. Okay, the Buddha, of course, Buddha argued rationally, but argumentation is not to win. Okay, actually, the purpose of argumentation is not to uh, grab, not to grab somebody. Okay, not to grab somebody. The purpose of argumentation is to convince them that what I'm saying is correct. So Buddha did not use any authorities. Buddha did not use any authorities, but Buddha used rational argumentation. So the point here is that did the Buddha then convert people? Conversion is a modern term, right? Conversion is a modern term. Buddha did not convert, rather, the Buddha used rational argumentation to convince his audience, to convince people. So then Buddha won members. Several later sutras indicate that the Buddha was very happy about his progress, the progress of the Buddha Sasana. He had all these four groups of people, Bhikkhu, Bhikkhuni, Upasaka, Upasika. In one sutra, Buddha is elated to find out, it is in his later years, he found out that, oh yes, not hundreds, but thousands of bhikkhus, bhikkhunis, hundreds of thousands of upasakas and upasikas in my sasana. So during these 45 years, Buddha took his message. Buddha was hugely successful in bringing this message to the people. He won members, but it's not through conversion. Okay? It is through rational argumentation. Okay? Now, when we come to this rational argumentation and analysis, rationally analyzed, rationally argued, okay, let's go first and what the Buddha left aside in his argumentation. What the Buddha left aside, that means authorities. Authorities, Buddha left aside. The Buddha did not use this authority. You know, these authorities are what we call uh, now various kinds of authorities. One authority is called textual authority. Textual authority. Okay? Textual authority means that the text is true. During those days, it's a Vedic literature, Vedic books, right? And people accepted this Vedic text as truth. That is, it was not written those days, but it's orally preserved. Orally preserved. So this is textual authority. And Buddha did not use textual authority. Okay? And then religious authority. Buddha rejected religious authority because this is found in my religion. Okay? This is found in my religious text. The Buddha rejected both. Okay, textual authority and Buddha rejected ma anusara ma paramparaye, traditional authority. Traditional authority. You know, if any of you use these authorities, you are presenting a weak argument. Okay, in any argument, we have these 3 points. In any argument, we have these 3 points. One, claim. Claim means your status, your position in an argument. Your position in an argument. Now, for instance, now see in the United States, okay, is a new government, new president is there, if somebody uh, uh, advocates the president's activities and if somebody approves of him, and say, okay, he's President Trump is a great president. That's a claim. An opposite claim would be President Trump is not a great president. Such a claim is your position in an argument. It can be very complex. It can be something very simple. So I can stand up and leave. So that's also a claim. So any argument has a claim. How do people support these claims? Yeah. When you argue, you have a claim. How do you support a claim? You support a claim. Some people say we support claims with evidence. Of course, evidence comes later. But before having evidence, there should be a reason. Reason. Okay, for instance, okay, now I'm just giving an example. In a court, uh, lawyer defends his or her client by saying that, okay, uh, Your Honor, my client is innocent. When you say my client is innocent, that is claim. The judge would ask next, okay, why do you call? The next question is, why do you say that your client is innocent? Now, the lawyer, the attorney has to give a reason. Okay, Your Honor, my client is innocent because my client was attacked. Because my client attacked the other person, accuser, in self-defense. Okay. Now, that is in self-defense. So that's a reason because I attacked him because he attacked because he was attacked. So that's a reason. So we argue, we support arguments, and we defend claims by giving reasons. And evidence comes next. Okay, now the judge would ask, how do you prove that your client attacked the other person in self-defense? Okay, now the lawyer has to present all other things like evidence. Okay, this is Your Honor, this is police report. The police says this. This is police report. Police report says that my client was first attacked and he attacked after that. That's evidence. So that is how you present a very convincing, powerful argument. An argument should have a claim. The argument should have a reason, and the argument after that argument should have evidence. Okay. Now, this is what you call rational argument. These reasons are strong, the claim is strong. If the evidence is strong, reason is strong. If the reason is strong, the claim is strong. That is how you make an argument. If these reasons are weak, reasons are unacceptable, the reasons are not appealing to the educated audience, they are not willing to accept your argument. Maybe it is acceptable to an uneducated, it's different kind of audiences in the world. But as long as it's convinced, it's a rational, it's a educated audience, wise audience, they want strong arguments. So the Buddha rejected these arguments. Okay, so uh, that's called anusutta because I have heard somebody said that. Ma parampara, you don't take this simply because it comes from your parampara. That means your tradition. Ma pitaksapadanini, because it comes from my books. My text is textual authority. Buddha rejected textual authority. So when you depend on these reasons, they are weak reasons. Uh, and social authority, ma parampara, ma itikrai, ma pitaksapadan, ma takka hetu, takka. Also, argumentation and takka are different. Rational argumentation and takka are different. Takka means, the English derivation of takka. English derivation of takka is trick. Trick. Takka. You deceive people by tricking. Taka. That means, remember that in the the six teachers during powerful teachers during the Buddha's time. Uh, One of them said, okay, uh, some a roll of a rope or something. You climb the top of a mountain and you drop it. It rolls down and it ends somewhere. Huh? So they argued that in the same way, any individual continues to live whether you are a good person or not, to accumulate wholesome energies or not. You continue to exist in numerous, kind of exactly the same number of births, and you eventually end your existence. That is how they argued. So that is Taka. These two have no connections. Taka means you are tricking. You present a trick to deceive people. So Buddha's argument, so Buddha's rational argument means that it is not Taka, it's rational argumentation. Okay, so logic, Taka means logic. Logic is not acceptable in the Buddha's teaching. It can trick people. Okay, Manahitu, and also this Naya. Naya means actually theory. This theory, two kinds of theories we have heard about. Okay, on the one hand, it's speculative theories, and on the other hand, rational theories. Two kinds of theories. Buddha rejected speculative theories. What is speculation? You speculate. Speculation means uh, uh, you just created by your own brain. You don't have evidence to support it. That's what you call speculation. Okay? So the Buddha rejected that kind of theories. There are other kind of theories are called rational theories. So you have evidence. Now, for instance, we can say that uh, the gravity is a rational theory, and because it has been proved. Okay. Now, uh, so many rational theories, but some people, if you maintain within our brain certain things that uh, they have not been proved, they are speculative theories. And Buddha did not use speculative theories, Buddha rejected, but it doesn't mean that Buddha rejected rational theories. Uh, so there are rational concepts in the Buddha's teaching. Buddha always used this rational. Okay, Sabbe Sankara Anicca is a rational concept. It's a theory. Buddha accepted it. Sabbesang, everything is impermanent. It's a Buddhist belief, not it's Buddhist belief, it's Buddhist understanding. So Buddha used that. Now, dependent origination is a rational theory, cause and effect. So Buddha consistently used these rational theories, but Buddha rejected speculative theories. Mataketu ma akarpadevita ma dittinichana. That fits my way of thinking. Buddha rejected that. It fits my way of thinking. Okay, somebody would ask, oh, you smoke? Oh, I also smoke because I like it. Okay, I like it. Okay, I love it, I like it, I hate it concept. That's not a rational way of thinking. Okay? Simply because you like it, okay? Okay, somebody argues, so I smoke because I love smoking. Okay, it's a weak argument. The reason is not a strong reason. Okay, okay. I accept this because it is in my religious text. I accept it because it is continued in my tradition. Some people argue, they all are false argumentation. They are what you call fallacies. They are called fallacies in argumentation. Fallacy is a false view. So the other one is Manaihet ma samano no garut. Okay, so this is my teacher. Okay, he's my master. I accept it. That's a fallacy. You can be in deep trouble if you do that. Remember in Sri Lanka and in these terrorists, okay, they argue. So followers argue, right? Okay, so uh, he is our leader. Remember in Sri Lanka it happened, right? Because of one terrorist leader. Okay, so a lot of people sacrifice their lives. They committed suicide and they killed many, many people, hundreds of people, because they said uh, they thought, okay, I do this because my teacher wants me to do that. Okay, okay, my master, my leader. That means, okay, uh, ma samano, ma samano. Here, ma samano is my religious teacher, but it can be in many ways in other kinds of teachers. Okay, my political leader, my social leader, okay, my head, okay. In that way, it can be many people. So that is okay. That is a weak argument. That's not rational argumentation. No Karvati. Okay, now see how the Buddha has rejected all these authorities: individual authority, religious authority, social authority, cultural authority. Now, most of us also become a victim of the social authority. For instance, let's see this. Okay, okay. If somebody, famous person in society, if somebody does something, okay, whether it is a good thing or not, you also want to do that. A famous person, a celebrity says, "Oh, this is a good product." Many people buy that. Why? Because you depend on an authoritative person. And also you depend on social authority. Society accept it. Other people accept it. So I accept it. There's a saying that the social forces are simply invincible. Invisible social forces are simply invincible. So we all become victims. Okay? When society demands, you cannot resist. There's what you call social authority. Because others say, I say it. Because others accept, I accept it. I know one family recently here in the USA. One family moved here, and this young child, young girl, she was 13 years old at that time, and she did not demand any phone. She just used the phone their parents gave. But about a year later, now she went to high school, and now she is saying, "Oh, mom, I need a brand new iPhone." Only demanding. The reason she gives, because all my friends have brand new iPhones. And now she has become a victim of that social authority. She cannot resist that social authority. So that means that it is not rational argumentation. If you become a victim of social authority, you are not using your rational argumentation. So it's not rational argumentation, it's not rational analysis, rather that it's irrational. You are using authority. So what the Buddha persuaded the entire society during his time was to resist all these authorities, because if you fall afraid, become a victim of these authorities, you are not presenting a strong argument. Whenever people brought all these, for instance, remember many sutras show that, okay, Buddha asked, do you know it? Have you seen it? How do you convince that? The Brahmins say, okay, okay, the four paths were created by the Mahabrahma's mouth. Okay, no, I mean one cast from the mouth, other cast from shoulders. Brahmanosh mukamashi, bahurajana kruta, urtada sayatvaisham padmashudrajayata. They use this claim. Okay, okay. So okay, now this is the reason actually. The claim is the uh, social differences should exist. That's their claim. Social differences should exist. Only the Brahmin can become a monk, Hamdru. Only a Brahmin can become a religious teacher. Okay? And even the royal member of a royal family cannot. Why? Because the reason is because all these four groups were created by Brahma's different parts of the body. Shudra was created by Padmam Shudra Ajayat, so that Sudra have no chance to become a teacher or anything. So that is a reason. Okay, but these reasons do not have evidence. These reasons, this only evidence is the textual authority. That's all. So they cannot prove that. Buddha persuaded society to resist that. What the Buddha, remember the Buddha ordained, right? Upali, the barber. Buddha ordained Upali, the barber. First, before he ordained his relatives, this prince. Okay? So Ananda Anuruddha, Kimbila, They were that these five, right? So Buddha gave ordination first to the barber who cut their hair. So it's a huge difference. Okay, now that is what you call rational argumentation. Buddha pointed out that all these authorities are weak. Okay. Now we come to the point that what actually, if you reject all these authorities, okay, if you reject all these authorities, then uh, what should you use? What is the criteria? What is the rational argumentation? In modern argumentation, we call it humanistic and pragmatic argument. And actually, the Buddha was the leader, the first to present this humanistic and rational argumentation, humanistic and pragmatic argumentation. What is this humanistic argumentation? Okay? You know, the modern educated American, I have seen that. Okay. For instance, the other professors in my campus, educated people, always, okay, I don't know what their religious beliefs are. They don't maintain religious beliefs. Rather, what they do is that they use this humanistic pragmatic argumentations. You don't have to belong to any religious group to argue to present a humanistic and pragmatic argumentation. You don't have to become a member of any religious group. And anybody belonging to any religious group can present a humanistic and pragmatic argumentation. So, uh, and if you present a humanistic and pragmatic argument, that is the clearest, the best argument. To present a humanistic and argument and pragmatic argument, you have to clear your mind of all these authorities. What is humanistic argument? Humanistic, human, the human being, that way, okay? So humanistic argument is the argument that comes from loving kindness and compassion. Now, look at that Buddha's first utterance to the group of monks who were dispatched for social service for propagation of the Dhamma. Bahujana Hitaya, Bahujana Sukhaya, Lokanukampaya. You see that all these humanistic and pragmatic arguments are embodied. Both humanistic and pragmatic arguments are embodied here. Medamma, okay, excuse me. The Bahujana Hitaya, Bahujana Sukhaya, Lokanukampaya. When you say Lokanukampaya, it is loving kindness and compassion. Bahujana Hitaya, Bahujana Sukhaya means benefit. That's what you call pragmatism. Pragmatism, the practical usefulness and benefit of what I'm asking you to do. People, on the one hand, wants to know that you have a good intention. People want to know that your listener wants to know that you have a good intention. What is the best intention? Good intention. Okay? I want to help you. I want to support you. That comes from loving kindness. That is what you call metta, karuna, mudita, upekha. So our loving kindness is not just one-sided, right? The English word love does not clearly express. Okay, the love can be, it's kindness, compassion, fellow feelings, pity. So, these words cannot be translated. Nietzsche has said a word that has a history cannot be translated. So, humanism, Buddhist humanism, humanistic, it is a quality that you have to develop within. It's something you have to show through your words, thoughts, and actions. That is what you call humanism. Okay? So, if you present a humanistic argument, the listener is always willing to accept it. Okay, so if you become an authoritative person, people don't want. If you want to show your power, people don't want to listen to you. But if you show the reader, that listener, that you have a good thoughts towards the other person, they are willing to listen. Yeah, so that is loving kindness. Buddha always presented a humanistic argument, and Buddha asked his bhikkhus to present humanistic arguments, okay, with loving kindness and compassion. And on the other hand, it should be a pragmatic argument. Okay, see, look at this pragmatic, practical usefulness. Yada tumme atanav jane. If you know by yourself, ime dhamma kusala, ime dhamma anavajja. These are skillful. What you are doing is skillful. What you are doing is harmless. Vinyu pasatta. What you are doing is appreciated by the wise. Samadhinna hitaya sukhaya sama. If you observe that, that is for your own well-being and happiness. What is Buddha saying here? It is pragmatic argument. The most powerful argument is the combination of humanism and pragmatism. The weakest argument, the most harmful, terrible argument is a combination of all these authorities. I'll give you an example of combining these authorities. Perhaps you have heard in America in I think 1990s, there was a man called uh, Applewhite, that's Marshall Applewhite. You could have heard about the appearance of a Halley comet. Halley, okay, this Halley comet appeared. This Marshall Applewhite was a religious leader. He had inner problems, but he had his own followers, many older people. He was preaching. He had his own church, something. But he had this belief. He thought, this world is full of suffering. Within this lifetime, he can go to an utopia-like world. So in this lifetime, you can travel there. That's what he believed, and that's what he preached. He taught people. He had he had a kind of a place. It's like a church where about 30 older people lived. Okay, so when this comet appeared, Halley, he convinced these people. This comet is the vehicle. It's a vehicle that came from that utopia-like beautiful world to take you there. Now you see that this is don't have evidence, right? So it is speculative theories, it's speculation. It's based on only speculations. It's his belief system, what he believes, not what he knows. But he presented what he believed as what he knew. So what happened was that now the next day he read in newspapers. Not next day, a few days later, he read in newspapers, and this comet will disappear. He believed, and he told the people, this vehicle is waiting for us to get into that. It will disappear in a few days. We have to take actions right now. What are the actions? We all should kill ourselves. We all should die so that we can get into that flight. That night, he and all 29 people committed suicide, expecting to get into that flight and to go to that utopia-like world. Look at the danger of speculations and irrational thinking. It's a cocktail, right? When you combine most of them, one thing can handicap you, like textual authority, religious authority. If you use one of them, it can handicap you. If you use combination of them, many of them, that can completely paralyze you and kill your all rational thinking. You make irrational decisions. So, irrational argumentation, irrational decisions, and irrational actions. Okay. Its opposite is what I said. It is humanistic and pragmatic and practical benefits and humanistic using rational argumentation. Okay. Scientific theory is not a speculative theory, so it's benefits. You show the reader the benefits, and reader will accept it, agree with that. Okay. Now, for instance, I'll give you an example. Uh, Suppose I argued against pleasure hunting. I argue against pleasure hunting and I claim, okay, pleasure hunting is wrong. That's my claim. Okay. I present a humanistic argument. Pleasure hunting is wrong because, in the same way, we feel pain, animals also feel pain. Therefore, it is wrong. They suffer. And their babies, their children, they all suffer when the parents are hunted. So that's wrong. That is humanistic argument. And the pragmatic argument is, okay, I can make it strong even. If we continue to hunt innocent animals like this, okay, they can disappear from this world. And also that can affect the ecosystem. That's harmful to the world. Look at the combination of humanistic and pragmatic argument. When you combine both of them, we present a very powerful and very strong argument. And that is what the Buddha did. You don't have to use any religion. So I don't have to say, oh, Buddha said the hunting is wrong, so you should not hunt. Weak argument because I'm using an individual authority. Instead, I present a pragmatic and humanistic argument is very, very powerful. So that is how Buddha brought about all the social changes during Buddha's time. Get it? Buddha turned the social system upside down. Remember? Now the four castes, right? All kinds of groups, Buddha said, okay? Uh, the waters of all four rivers, when these waters fall into the ocean, we call them ocean water, not waters of that particular river. Buddha brought about a huge change in society, and Buddha was immensely successful in that. Okay, he did this with this humanistic and pragmatic argumentation. Yes, Buddha argued. Buddha presented rational argumentation. Buddha got rid of irrational argumentation which used authority. Okay? And Buddha won so many members. That is why we call it rational. But Buddha did not convert a single individual. That's the point. Buddha never converted any person, but Buddha won members through his rational argumentation and analysis. So, having said that, you see that how modern the Buddha's teaching is. In in my campus, okay, my discipline is English, and what I teach is rational argumentation. Okay, now it is rhetoric. It's modern rhetoric. This is Buddhist rhetoric. Okay, uh, and in universities nowadays, in the discipline of English, what we teach is to help students argue rationally. Okay, because their mind, if they argue rationally, they can create new truths. They can come out of these cages and they think in a broader way. So that is what we are doing in universities. Actually, in other words, even though I teach English, I teach these students the Buddhist way of rational argumentation. So, having said that, it's time for us to wind up this Dhamma discussion. So thank you for your invitation, and it's my pleasure to give this Dhamma talk to you. Having said that, let us wind up this Dhammadesana by
Yeah.
transferring
We'll have
things
some
to.
question, Q&A, question and answers, Venerable Zero.
Yeah, if
That may,
you have any
yeah.
questions, yes, if you
If
have
you
any
have
questions.
any questions, you can kindly send it on Q&A. And maybe since Venerable Vajrarame Jnanasiha Thero is here, Venerable Thero, do you have any comments or suggestions on the Dhamma talk?
It's, it's an excellent presentation in modern words of the Kalam Sutta. You know, we discussed the Kalam Sutta in different way, but it was brought in very well by Venerable Ram so that, you know, it's in with modern terms. And as a professor of English in Houston University, it did it very well. So I think that's something all of us, anything, the persuasion of loving kindness, of pragmatic and humanistic approach, which the Buddha is something that we could think of as a solution to many other issues that faces the world. So it's a very excellent talk, and I enjoyed every word of it.
Thank you. I
Thank you very
appreciate
much.
that very much. Thank you, Hamdro.
Venerable Thero, I think this loving kindness that I think in many spheres it is being mentioned on the loving kindness. Say in Buddha's sense, how would this really be interpreted the loving kindness?
Loving kindness is, there's metta, karuna, mudita, upekka, right? This is a very broad concept, so I'm not going to discuss it, each of them in detail. This loving kindness is something you have to feel within. Love is something that you feel within, right? You feel within, and it is in Buddhism, we said love is a kind of a dormant. It's a kind of a dormant feel. Actually, loving kindness is not an emotion. That's the point. It's not an emotion. Emotions are imbalanced status of the mind. Okay? An emotion. Now, you see, for instance, anger is an emotion. Even blind faith is an emotion. Uh, and love is, dotage, D-O-T-A-G, dotage, blind love, that's an emotion. Emotion arises by suppressing rational thinking. It's exactly the opposite emotion. So, this loving kindness is not an emotion. Metta karuna mudita is not an emotion. It is an elevated state of the mind. Through training, you have developed your love to a higher level. So this dormant quality, that's the greatest quality of a human being. The dormant quality has been cultivated to a higher level. And actually, the highest level of cultivation is enlightenment. If you don't, irrespective of all the differences, if you feel boundless love towards everybody, that is your enlightenment. And when you cultivate that to that level, all others, those are moha. Moha is already gone because you develop love means no moha, and those is gone. No, so this loving kindness is the greatest quality we all should strive to cultivate. It is, it is not just listening. By listening, we cannot cultivate it. It's through practice and our social connections. Everywhere you have to practice it repeatedly in our day to day life, and in that way, we can cultivate it. And also, we must sit and practice loving kindness meditation. That's one way of developing. You develop it in the gym, but you have to practice in your day to day life, right? So, that is also very important.
Thank you, Bhante. Dr. Sumana, you have any questions or comments?
Of course, I should express my happiness and how delight I am having listened to Bhante after such a long time. Of course, I if I personally say that we studied together 40 years ago, 45 years ago actually, at Kalani University. And that time we had some friendly discussions, discussions
Yes, we
about the
did. Yes.
discipline, etc. But now I have seen, I actually, I'm fortunate, thanks to Professor Vattavala, that you have invited Bante, I think earlier too, but I was not fortunate enough to listen to you earlier. But today, I'm so delighted. Now I'm in Sydney, but time is now actually very much late, like 1:30 now. Uh, no, 12:30, I think. Anyway, I'm very, overwhelmed with my happiness of, listening to you and benefiting from what you have expressed. And I have seen, uh, you know, throughout these 40 years, you have developed yourself so much, Bante, and you have expressed yourself being uh, a good professor, not only in English, but in Buddhism. So that is what I should say as my expression of appreciation. Thank you very much for being able to listen to you, and I'm very happy that your argumentation and all the words as Bante Vajraram Venerable from Vajraram also said. I appreciate each and every word that you have expressed. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
Well,
So happy that I takes me back to back to our memories of 40 years, right? I remember we two of us were the our English was very good, right? Those days. So remember,
Yes.
so we all so you are the best student in that group. You are the only person who earned the first class honors, right? In our
Thank
group.
you very much,
So
Bante.
so the excellent student and did so well. And but your interview had a very close connection. I remember one day I had published article in the Buddhist magazine, right?
Yeah,
Remember, we were sitting there and you read the entire article sitting next to me, right? I still remember
but
that
yeah,
very well,
yeah,
right?
wonderful.
mhm.
Good
Yes,
that
you
we
did.
Thank
get to
you.
Even
remember.
though you select a different path, uh,
Mm.
you serve the Buddhist teaching and you continue to serve Buddhist teaching.
Of course,
That's a great
Bante.
thing.
Of course, we find different ways to support ourselves at the same time contribute our knowledge to Buddhist
Buddhism, right?
propagation.
That is the right way. You have the
Yeah,
choice
yeah,
to make your decision, but at the
of
same
course.
time, you are committed to serve the Buddha's teaching, which enriched our lives. That's a great thing.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Venerable Thero, there is a question from Punzan Wandi. He's from Bhutan. He's asking, what is mindfulness?
Yes, the word mindfulness. I think I cannot give a brief. I will try to give a short answer to that. Mindfulness means living at present. Mindfulness is being aware of what is going on within you. That is mindfulness. Uh, Dr. Sumana Ratnayaka, so we still remember that, right? So, Saragang Chitang, Saragang Chittang Pajanati, right? That's what we learned, right?
Wonderful.
Viragang
Yeah.
Chitang, Viragang Chittang Pajanati, right? So, we are aware that what is going on within me, living at now, living at present. Okay, I teach this to my students. I'll give you one example. You know, those students who cannot sit at one particular place like this, those patients cannot concentrate on lessons, eh, are those who skip the present and live in future. It means my grade is the most important thing. I need an A. I need an A for this course. I want an A. No, they have skipped the present and they live in future. When you skip the present and you begin to live in future, you are almost always a failure. Mentally, verbally, and physically, live at now. Live at now. My students who do their assignments, who write papers well, take quizzes well, do well, never ask me about their final grade. because they know that they are traveling along the correct path. They know that they go there. They are not worried about their future. Those who fail miserably are those who forget the present and focus on. This is a different way of showing being mindful. Being mindful means you're through your words, through your deeds, and through your thoughts, you live at now.
Present moment.
So yes.
Present moment. It
Present
says
moment.
present moment.
One is now one way of practicing it is breathing. Breathing is, just practice it. The breathing is not the end, but it's a means to an end. Okay, it's a training. It's a training. It's training to. It trains you to live at now. Breathing in, incoming breath, outgoing breath, expansion of my chest and stomach area, shrinking of the same area. You concentrate on that. Okay, instantly your mind becomes. In a few seconds, you don't have to meditate for 1 hour or two like this. But in a few seconds, we start feeling calmness, relaxation. So that is mindfulness, being aware of what.
Thank you. Uday, you have any questions or comments? You had to unmute. Yeah.
Yeah, no, thank you very much. Rahul, it was very good. It's a very thought-provoking discussion. I think we should have more of this type of discussions. I have some question in the sense I know your title says early Buddhism, question and analysis and argumentation. Is there any specific why you use the word early in terms of why not modern Buddhism? I mean, I think if I understood it right, it is applicable whether it's early or current or so. Is there any emphasis of the word early that you use?
Yes, early. It's a kind of a controversial. Okay, now we have it's a kind of sensitive topic in a sense, right? Early Buddhism. Okay, because Buddha's teaching was first preserved through uh, through oral tradition, right? But committing to memory, so that some added. Uh, so you asking me the difference between early Buddhism and other, right? So that's the main point. So uh, uh, what are the Buddhist texts that we can clearly identify as early Buddhism? Okay, so as a Buddhist scholar, right? We studied Buddhism. So uh, Dr. Sumana, so we all studied Buddhist philosophy, right? Buddhist teachings. We are a scholar in Buddhism. So that I consider the sutras, not all the sutras, but Sutta Pitaka. I consider Sutta Pitaka and some sections of Vinaya Pitaka as the early Buddhism. Early Buddhism, but some are now there are Jataka stories which were written, even some of them are written in Sri Lanka, right? They are also in the Sutta Pitaka, right? So these are not a part of. We have to be very careful and open-minded and patient in selecting, differentiating. Of course, Abhidhamma is a great analysis of the mind. Okay, it's in the Sutta Pitaka, and there are other Abhidhammas. So South Trantika, right? So there are different Abhidhammas, and then Mahayana Buddhism, okay, and later developments, okay. Uh, we are not excluding all of them, okay, because everybody shares the basic teachings of the Buddha. So we cannot exclude, but they have been developed. Was the Mahayana tradition developed the Buddha's teaching, the simple Buddhist teaching as a philosophy and as a religion, right? So that, but they are later additions, later developed. So mostly when you call early Buddhism, we use uh, sutras in the Sutta Pitaka.
Yeah.
Thank you. Senaka, you have any questions or comments? Mr. Senaka Samarasinghe?
Excuse me, Bante. You have done excellent explanation about this according to your topic. That will be always applicable for the whole sermon. You mentioned about the rational argument that was done by Buddha and convinced people those days. That is the time that we are in US. In 1990, you immigrated to US, and this type of world, they are always do rational arguments. And that will help for the people in this part of the world to teach Buddhism. And at the same time, you mentioned about the live at the present moment. You learn from your own students. So that is the way that you experience North American culture. So thank you very much, Bante.
You are welcome. Appreciate that.
May I ask a question?
Yes,
Honorable Sir,
Venerable.
the professor in English, and you mentioned also in your speech that some of the language develops in its own culture, that's a Christian culture, and try to get them, say, metta. The concept of metta, it's very difficult to put it in English. And we use the word loving kindness.
Yes, right.
The thing is, in the same way, is there a possibility now as the professor of English, of getting this type of meaning of the metta, dukkha, all I listen to them say it's not possible to get that concept in English. And we try to say, use dukkha. But how is it possible to merge that type of thing into the English locality? Into, say, the Oxford Dictionary, or I do not know. But these things to come. I know there is one word, aswadumais. Now, aswadumais was brought from Sinhala to the Oxford Dictionary. It's something that they could put it. In the same way, is there a possibility of getting some of these basic concepts in Buddhism into the English language so that the people understand, rather than our trying to interpret and say, oh, this is not it is. Loving kindness is this, is something. Now, your explanation of mindfulness and something. But the point is that the language is extremely important. And in your profession as a professor of English, I would like to say, how is it possible for you to get the Buddhist terms into the English language? That's a question.
That's right. Yes, Sandro. Oh, that's a very important point. These translations don't work, right? So thing is that the best thing is to use the original word. Okay, the karma is karma, not destiny. Oh, not karma either. It's karma is karma. Okay, when you say karma, it's an altogether different thing, right? So what I am I have, okay, here is a copy of my book. I have the copy of my, this is the Beautiful Living, the Buddha's way of prosperity, wisdom, and inner peace. Okay, the forward was written by Sir Arthur C. Clarke, right? So I have used the original words, original Pali words, like sansara, nibbana, not nirvana, nibbana, like these words. Because as I said, that a word that has history cannot be translated. A word that has evolved cannot be translated. So that what people should do is to learn the things related to that particular word and use that particular word. Actually, that is what in here they do. These words like guru, lot of these Pali words have become English words now in dictionaries. Okay? So the word like guru and pandit, they use pandita, these words have their own content which cannot be translated. If you have to use so many words to translate, but still you don't get it. So let us use the original word and learn what it means and use original word. That is the best way. Other than that, even though I'm an English professor, I cannot translate them either. Right. You are right. So we must encourage people to use these original words.
and how to get into the dictionaries. How to say Oxford Dictionary or Cambridge Dictionary. Some of these words can it be get into those dictionaries with the
They are
correct?
getting, yes, they are entering, yes. There's new words. You know, in America, we always new words are created. So these words are these people words. Okay. So it's our responsibility to introduce these words instead of using translations. So, you know, the American English always create new words. Now, recently a new word has been created. It's called MacJob. M-A small c, MacJob. MacJob. This McDonald's, they went to court. This is a wrong word. Okay, but the people argued, the dictionary argued, okay, this is a word that people use. It has a meaning. Job is a job that you you get minimum payment. You cannot break the barriers. Right? You can just survive. You can never be rich. Okay, you can survive. Still, so that's a Mac job. So that Mac job is a Mac job, right? Not other. So this word people use that should be a word. Even in the English language, new words are coined all the time. New terms are coined. So all these original words should be used instead of them being translated into English or into any language.
Venerable Thero, there is a question from Mohan Gunasekara. Is there a difference between mind and thoughts?
Mind and thoughts.
Thoughts, yes.
Yes, yeah, of course. The mind is the place where mindfulness, right? Mindfulness. Mind is the place where these thoughts originates. Mind is the source, and thoughts are the results, effects.
Thank you,
Chitta and
Bhante.
Chaitasica. Yes.
Tungsan Wangdi from Bhutan, and he has said in Tibetan Buddhism, Vesai karma is the term, but we know in Pali it is kamma. No, what he says, the Tibetan Buddhism word and the Pali word. Kamma, Vesai karma.
What karma? Let me
WESAY.
my microphone is a little bit lower. Let me increase it.
You can see the Q&A. Vesai or
say it again. I didn't hear the what is the Tibetan the
the
Buddha,
word
right?
the Tibetan Vesai or WESAY. Vesai karma. SAY karma in Tibetan.
Tibetan. I'm not sure. I don't have understanding. I'm sorry for that.
No, he says that he has given the Tibetan word for the Pali word, kamma, what they are using in Tibetan. That's what he has.
Okay. So that's a different thing. In Tibetan language, that word has evolved. So it itself has a history. So if you have used in that language for a long period of time, you know, that is acceptable.
Thank you, Bandit. So can I invite our committee member, Mr. Kamal Nilavira to...
Sorry.
Sorry, yeah.
Thank you. Do you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear, Bandit. We
But
can
you
hear
don't
you.
see me, right? What happened here? I clicked on
No, we can
something.
see you also. We can see and
Oh,
hear
you can
both.
see me. Okay, very
Yes,
good, very good. Okay, all right.
both, yeah.
And so we are concluding this, right?
Before that, can I invite Kamal Nilavira to pay merit to Bante? Thanksgiving. Yeah. After that, we'll do the conclusion. Yeah.
Thanks, I want to start with thanking Venerable Pasnaguru Ravanathero for a wonderful Dhamma sermon today on the Medin full moon Poya day, because the sermon has enriched our knowledge about Buddha's teachings based on loving kindness
a vast topic. Thank you for your valuable time, Venerable. Much merit to you from all of us at the International Dhamma program. And we also wish that you will join us again in the future. Because I think we have more and more Dhamma friends from overseas. So today being a working day for this Dhamma session, we have over 100 Dhamma friends from all over the world. And yeah, I want to thank Professor Lakshman Vatawala also for organizing this program today. It was a busy day with 2 programs, and much merit to you when start.
Thank you, Kamal. Let me also thank and pay merit to Venerable Basnagula Rahula Thero. And we also have Venerable Vajrarame Jnanasiya Thero, who's been attending almost all our programs. So we pay much merit to Venerable Thero, and also Dr. Sumana, who's been here with us after some time. Our committee members, Senaka and Udaya and Kamal, and also all our friends from overseas who have been really supporting us in all these ventures. And I know that Venerable Basnagoda Rahula Thero was talking on the argumentation area. I think that's very essential. And I think Buddha was also able to convince everyone. And I think he was really looking at the earlier term of conversion. I said, maybe we will maybe mention it in the talk, and thereafter we can handle it. I think, Kamal, you want to say something, or your hand is up? No? No. No, it's okay, right. So Venerable Thero, now may I invite Venerable Thero to uh, give the blessings to the Devas and the departed.
Akasattaa ca Bummattaa Devānāgā Mahittikā Puññantaṃ Anumoditva Chirang Rakkantu Loka Sāsanam Chirang Rakkantu Desanam Chirang Rakkantu Maṃ Parantī Devo Vasatu Kālena Sassa Sampatti Hotu ca Pīto Bhavatu Loko ca Rājā Bhavatu Dhammiko. So brief chanting. Sabbityo vivajjantu sabbarogo vinasatu mate bhavattvantarayo sukhi dīghāyuko bhavatu sabba mangalang rakkantu sabba devata sabba buddhanubhavena sabba dhammanubhavena sabba sanghanubhavena Sada Sotti Bhavantu Te. May you all be well, happy and peaceful. Sadhu, sadhu.
So. Thank you very much, Venerable Thero. And we will now end our Dhamma talk. And maybe we will, very thankful, because I think Venerable Thero also mentioned about the books. If Venerable Thero can send me some details, I will also inform everyone about 2 books that Venerable Thero has written.
Oh, something I forgot to tell you, that I have a YouTube channel. Its name is Enlight, okay? Enlight. And it's becoming very popular. I discuss the Buddha's teaching also in the field of medicine and diseases. I have a lot of knowledge in that field. In Sri Lankan people are suffering. They are suffering because they are not aware of all these supplements and some kind of natural things. So I have started a YouTube channel. Its name is Enlight. You just type my name, Basrangota Rahul Enlight. Okay, it discusses a lot of topics related to your physical well-being, your health, your inner well-being, and your progress, and at the same time your spiritual progress. So, you are welcome to visit my YouTube channel.
Thank you. Sadhu, 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 sadhu. So we will end the Dhamma talk. Let me stop the right.
Thank you very much.